There's a lot of good. It also repeals the very last bits of HB6, the horrible bill that the big scandal that happened here a few years ago, where our sent our Speaker of the House to prison. He's still in prison, and the leader of our Power Siting Board and Public Utility Commission that are resigning and then killing himself. So a very like dirty $61 million bribery scandal that kind of broke and really, I think, decimated. And that's why the Ohio State House has one of the lowest, unfortunately, but earned lowest approval ratings of any state legislature because of all this utility corruption. So what this bill attempts to do is address some of the utility accountability aspects too, just really kind of changing the rate making process to make it more transparent, adding a lot of rules around how these projects can be set up and done, which we really appreciate. And I think both Republicans and Democrats have to acknowledge that there's a lot to do there. And I think we are, and we're going to do it.
Wait, could you walk us through a little bit? You dropped a lot with HB6 and its
Yeah, you
sequeling.
got to go
Walk
Google
us
it.
through a little bit like the quick summary of what
Ugh,
happened what,
it's
on both
hard.
like the fraud end as well as the drama end there.
Yeah, it is crazy. I gave you some of the more dramatic bits, but that was kind of the. So basically, First Energy, which is the utility that if you live in Northeast Ohio, you likely have First Energy powering,
Yeah,
illuminating your town
I
here.
think I've talked with their representatives before.
Yeah, so they said they got together with the soon-to-be Speaker of the House back in 2019 and said, "Hey, here's a ton of money, split it around," and they just literally flat out bribed legislators to pass what would be $1 billion subsidy bill for First Energy. So they gave the soon to be chief regulator for the state $4 million right before he became the chief regulator, and they gave the Governor DeWine running for re-election, another couple $1 million to make sure that he got appointed and that he was good. So it's like the fox totally ruling the hen house, right? Like it's just total what we call utility or regulatory capture, meaning the utilities, the regular have completely encapsulated and run the regulatory system that's supposed to be looking out for us, the ratepayers and the taxpayers. So that happened. The bill passed 51 to 49. It almost didn't pass, but they had just bribed enough legislators, Republicans and Democrats. And it was bipartisan, unfortunately. But after it passed, the news broke the next summer that it was done illegally. A bunch of people went to jail, including they arrested a bunch of lobbyists and the Speaker of the House, and they eventually arraigned the chief executive of First Energy, who's still awaiting trial. And one of the lobbyists ended up committing suicide, along with the chief regulator, Sam Randazzo. And then the speaker is now currently in jail, I think probably for the rest of his life for perpetrating that. The largest bribery scheme in Ohio history, and I think it's the largest bribery scheme in utility history as well in the state, in the country. So we're recovering from that, right? So we're trying to figure out how, as a legislature, we set boundaries and we clear house and we first and foremost get out of that utility regulatory capture space. So how do we make sure that the utility does not run the government that's supposed to be watching them? And that's a little bit about what both of these bills are geared to do.